Hello, my name is Rachel. If we've never met before, I channel messages for the collective healing as well as my own journey. And so much has gone on a micro scale and a macro scale in my life the last week. So I know that with all of that, taking in all of the information of the world, that I wanted to share messages because I can feel that it's very potent and I have a lot really swimming in my head right now. And as an Aquarius with a birthday in 2 weeks, I know that my words can look at the collective and come together to sort through a lot of big issues, I guess I would call them. But so where do I even begin? So I've been in the spiritual realm for, I don't know, 6-7 years, and it's cool, right? Like, you can manifest, you're the creator of your life. And there's also this, the universe is spontaneous. So I was just talking to my mom earlier, and her husband is in like big sales and business, and they lost like a big deal, even though they were the lowest price point. And so after that, it's like, well, how are we going to make up that big loss of money? So yeah, you can work your fingers to the bone. You might not make up that loss. It was $12 million. So a universal message is, as long as you're alive or having a human experience, there's going to be goalposts or things that you want to get to, and you might get there and you might not, but guess what? The very next day, you're still going to have to make it through life. So on a micro scale, for me, November, December, I was lifting. My goal right now is to build muscle, and I was doing that. And then a week ago today, I slipped and broke this arm. Yesterday I got the cast. I was told 5 weeks, come in, we'll get it off, get the brace on. I just got a voicemail before this. It has to be a week after for an appointment issue. So now it's 6 weeks, and I already hate this thing. It's already annoying and uncomfortable. So there was my goal, right? I was doing the work, and something happens. Another goal I am working on is my skin, which has been going well. I have another facial tomorrow, but with 2 hands, it's easier to do skincare, right? So again, a week ago, I was really upset, like, okay. And then I have another goal. I want to get my own space, and I felt like this was kind of pushed back, and with work things and feeling controlled by a corporation and being told like what you can or can't do, but I need the money to take care of myself, obviously. All that to say, there's a lot of chaos, right? Again, that's on like more my micro scale. That's not even looking at the macro scale right now. I live in Minnesota. I'm 20 minutes away from Minneapolis, where there's been a lot of hubbub and activity here that's very violent. And it's scary. I can feel the tension of people as I go out, and I don't really want to explore too much, right? All that to say is there's no one right way to do things, because I think what, again, I've seen or what I'm experiencing on my own scale is, because I was going to say earlier, despite all of this chaos, right, like, I still need to take care of myself, and I still need to know how to be happy. So yeah, all of that stuff can really suck, but all the work that I've done and the tools that I've gathered to take care of myself and be somewhat regulated, right, like eating healthy and standing up to people and speaking my truth and knowing that I need good sleep and all of this, like, you need to control your controllables and learn how to take care of yourself. But there's no one way that your life needs to look, because if I listened to all the social conditioning around me, right, we're very conditioned to be in a relationship, and if you're not, then you're not lovable, like this weird narrative. Masculine and feminine dynamics. There was a guy online earlier who is like very Christian and has a household, and he's like, I'm the head of the household no matter what. And what's attractive to me is like men that don't have to say that kind of stuff, right, and really make it be known. Like, that is so performative to me. So again, if you look into the history of marriage, right, and the man proposing to the woman, like, he wanted her as property, and he was the one that made all of those decisions, which again is very much not me, and I really, really hate it. Like, I don't value it at all. I don't value that at all. I value being independent and taking care of myself and wanting to be happy no matter what my external circumstances, and free. And I know that some people love to be told what to do. I know that some people like to play the victimhood game and, you know, say external factors like, because of this, this, and this, I don't have this, this, and this. So this is your message. If you resonate with my journey or just being on this path, like, hey, your job is to take care of yourself, and you can't be happy 100% of the time, right? Because I make the example, even if and when I get every single thing I want in my life, I'm still going to wake up the next day, right? I'm still going to have this human experience until I'm not in a human body anymore. You know, people are like, am I too old to blah? No, like, again, as long as you're having a human experience, you have needs that you're trying to meet, right? Housing, food, emotional needs. That's basically it. So if you think it has to look a certain way, or you put yourself into a certain box of how things need to unfold, and it's really making you unhappy, again, you're going to have unhappy days, but if it's consistently making you unhappy and there's been a pattern of it and you feel like you're stuck, that's where you need to take accountability and responsibility and say, okay, maybe what I'm doing isn't working. Whether it's a relationship or relationships, right? Friends, family, jobs, your body, your health, right? Like, it's not easy, but that pattern will continue until you step up and say, I need to stop this. You can pay for stuff, right? You can do healings, you can do therapy, you can, I don't know, go on a wellness treat, whatever. You can also do free stuff. You can go on YouTube, you can do emotional freedom technique or tapping, you can do legs up the wall pose, you can chant, you can journal, you can make art, right? Again, there's just this huge victim mentality of what can I do? And you can do a lot. Sometimes you do need to make your world very, very small and go on that micro level, but it's something you can do. So again, I just see it a lot that people don't even feel like they can do anything, and that's not true. So if you do find yourself in that arena or boat, no, like, all the transformation work that I've done basically is because I researched it. I went online and I did practices, or I found people in my local communities or online communities that helped me change and shift, right? Podcasts, books, videos, putting myself out there into certain situations and scenarios. So it doesn't have to be, I don't know, like, really expensive, or it'll probably take a while. That's the truth. It's not going to be an overnight change or shift, you know, true transformation and really uprooting deep patterns, or, you know, a lot of stuff that's been stuck for a really long time. It's going to come out in layers. And again, I've walked on that path for like 5+ years of like, wow, everything felt like it was, you know, being torn away from me multiple times, because it kind of was. And again, you know, even that journey and story in society is not really told, like, that's okay. I do always see like this example, like, people are sober and that's awesome, but someone that like never really wanted to get into that, like, they're not celebrated at all. No one gives pays any attention to it. And I'm not saying, hey, I need all this validation. I just notice it as a pattern, right? So again, I think there's this very, if you fit into my box, you can be celebrated kind of thing that happens. You know, the other thing I was thinking about before this video was that I'm very jaded when it comes to marriage, because my parents were together for 21 years or something, and they split up when I was 16. So I was like, yo, like, I hate all of this, right? I was told, here's how life will go, and that was kind of the start of my downfall and my tailspin, going down fast, really, really hard and really, really uncomfortable lessons. So I think that even whole, again, one person, once you find your person, you're together forever, it's just not true. I mean, some, yeah, but half of it is not true. So when we set ourselves up for that, I mean, what do you expect? And again, I understand from a emotional and connection perspective that love and oxytocin and all those hormones make you feel really good and make those kinds of decisions. But I'm just saying, and what I want to convey and share is giving people tools to actually make it through hardships and challenges when they do arise, because we don't talk about that. We just talk about Band-Aid kind of stuff. Like, oh, just do this, just take this pill. Go to these number of counseling sessions or whatever. But true transformation and embodiment happens on the inside, which I have seen for myself. Building a foundation was something I spent a lot of time doing. And now I feel like I'm kind of making the framework. But not everyone even starts on the same foundation, right? We all have different societies and states and countries and cultures and our family lineage and our family generational trauma and your own trauma and what you experienced at school, messages you took in there, nutrition, housing, safety, like all of these are factors. I don't shy away from that. That's again very like, hey, we're all having a human experience, but all those human experiences are very vastly different. And my spiritual light being self really wishes that it could be all super peaceful and easy, but this planet and this reality has light and dark. It has anger, fear, hatred, resentment, and it also has happiness and joy and everything in between. So being realistic about all of that's the pathway to happiness and true freedom and liberation, because you're not at the mercy of everything going on around you internally. You know that you can be okay, or like, hey, this is what I need to do in this situation or scenario to take care of myself. It doesn't have to look a certain way, because if you do try to fit into a certain box, and what happens if that box gets torn away, right? Like, again, I was really upset by this. It's super stressful, and I kind of got over it. Like, I'm really tired, and it looks like online some people are really, really tired, like when you heal bones, and that would probably make sense for me because my body's doing so much healing. So that was really frustrating to feel like I'm making all this progress on goals that I have, and now I feel kind of slowed down. Or reframing it is, I just need to focus on really resting and taking care of myself, which again, I've done 1,000 times before. And for some reason, I get to learn that lesson again, even though ideally I would like to be learning a different lesson, and I really don't want to be doing this. But I can't not be doing it, right? Like, this will heal, but it just takes time. But people get really, upset by that fact. They'd rather just have things change externally as fast as they want it, instead of, well, what do I need to do in order to get that thing I want? That was like another 2 weeks ago today or yesterday. I was having a conversation with some people, and we were talking about money and, oh, just win the lottery. And I literally said, I'm like, well, that's the fast track, easy way to, quote, get more money, right? But it's the chances are very low. It can happen, but people don't want to take that long term, like, well, how do I actually make more money, right? Who do I need to become? What skill sets, what strategies do I need to practice and get really good at? And what do I have to do consistently to make that a reality? People don't want to do that work. They just want to do, oh, I just have it now. Again, it can happen. It's just not common, right? It's going to be a different path. What's that saying? Like, nothing easy. Sorry, my mind is a little slow today. Nothing worth having comes easy. Which, again, from my spiritual manifesting self and positivity, cool. And I don't know, I've been hardened a little bit, and I think just a big part of my journey too has been I've been let down by the external so much that I'm just kind of more nonchalant on the inside no matter what does happen. Which I've said before, and people, obviously react in the, oh, well, that's not good way, but for me, it's actually the best way. So this is your permission slip once again to let you know that your happiness or your life doesn't have to look a certain way for you to be happy, because mine definitely doesn't. But again, I always say I'm the happiest and healthiest I've ever been. Again, despite all this stuff, all the stuff I still run into, all the hardships, all the things that are uncomfortable. I was triggered by like men earlier today, and I'm like, okay. I can look back at good memories I've had with people. What can I do today? What can I do the rest of my day? And again, admittedly, I'm like really tired and don't super have a lot of energy. I kind of feel like moody, and I could have a good cry. But again, for me, that's just been a huge part of my journey to like know that everything's okay. Like no matter how I show up in the world or how I'm feeling is okay. And again, that's a very common, I don't know, fallacy, lie that I see in the world, right? People are like tell each other like you can only feel these certain ways to be like valid or loved or seen or heard. And it's just a lie. It's just a lie. Again, just being on this path that I have of healing, like I've had so many moments where everything feels like it's falling apart, and realistically long term and on a bigger, grander scale, I've just felt so much more unconditional love and support, and energies not from this crazy ass world come into my body and being to really support me and get me through that. And that probably does sound crazy to people, or God can only look a certain way, or Christianity, or whatever. But I know what I know, and because of the voice I've been given and all the experiences I've been given and all the hardships, my job in turn is to go out and share that and help people how I can. And some people are going to be like, wow, you're so helpful. And some people are going to be like, I don't like you. And that's my freedom of, cool, I can still be me and show up how I want to. So I hope more and more people can experience that too, because it's hard to be a people pleaser, right? Like you've given up all of your needs and all of your voice and all of your energy to other people to appease and play small and make everyone else happy. But as soon as you see and realize that you can take your power back to become happier and healthier, and you don't have to please everyone all the time, like that's their stuff, what's mine, what's my energy, you can really, detach and take the steps that you want to create the life that you want. But again, not everyone's ready for that. But if you are, then it's very, very freeing. So let's see if there is one message to end with. This is a lot easier. But where it's broken, or why I can't move it, obviously I can't move my wrist towards my face right now, because I kind of landed on it and bent it back that way. So it's just like twisting, and again, this is just kind of annoying, but I'm sure people have broken bones that are watching this. I've just never broken one, so I'm like so annoyed for multiple other reasons too. Okay, blue flame. So let's see how this one ties into everything I was just talking about. Spontaneous awakening, activation, integration time. Let's see. Oh, perfect. All right. Okay. This is a card of awakening and energetic upgrades. Perhaps you're going through a period of spontaneous awakening, receiving visions and having experiences that are out of the ordinary. In the West, little is known about the process of spontaneous awakening, and it can feel very scary when we are going through it alone. Elsewhere, they can be seen as auspicious experiences, with those going through them being treated with tender care. So, yeah, I'm in America, right? Westernized culture, white European people, right? But in America, I guess we have a lot of other cultures too. But anyways, yeah, like all this spiritual stuff that has completely saved and changed my life. Again, not on a very big scale do I even share it with a lot of people, or a lot of people understand, because they, whatever. But again, with this and all the things that are happening on a macro scale right now, I do see a lot of people and families that are waking up to, like, my family believes this. Do I believe that? And they're kind of standing up for themselves, right? Like, actually, this isn't okay with me, right? I don't want to live the rest of my life with the values that, maybe people around me have, that I've been close with for years to have. That's scary, but I can guarantee you there's freedom and liberation on the other side of that. The blue beings are thought to be activating beings with great potential for healing and upgrading our cellular structures. They appear in moments of extreme awakening, activating a physical Kundalini awakening and deep cellular and DNA healing. Many people glamorize the awakening process. However, in reality, it's much messier and more difficult than most of us believe. So again, on a grand scale right now, all of this turmoil and tension with governments and people all over the world fighting back against power structures that have been in place for a long time, not actually supporting people, but actually supporting, the top 1-5%, whatever, right? That's all crumbling. But why it's so uncomfortable is because we all have to feel that tension and that drama and that trauma in our bodies and our emotions and our nervous systems and our minds, which is very uncomfortable, right? Like, I've been having a week straight of, like, ongoing stress, like one thing after another. And again, I'm not the only person that's going through that. But for it to get better, that's what has to happen. Because as I said earlier in the video, this reality has black and white. It has dark and light and gray and everything in between. So those two extremes are where we really feel, we gather enough emotional information for us to change our habits or do something. My aunt's husband today, just hates all this stuff, and he's like, kind of losing it. So because of all of that, he's finally like, okay, what am I gonna do, right? What's my next step with all of this information that I have and how I'm feeling, and I help people quit smoking. Like, people have hit rock bottoms and they're like, what am I gonna do?